Your brand may be staying on top of current trends, but are you agile enough to stay relevant, resilient, and successful as customers, competition, and the world continues to change at a breakneck pace? I'm thrilled to share the newly revised version of my first book, The Agile Brand. I'm calling it The Agile Brand Revisited. It's been updated to reflect our continually changing world, and it provides 7 principles that form the backbone of an agile brand, offering detailed insights and actionable steps for incorporating them into your business strategy. This is the book that started it all, and I'm excited to share it with you. It's now available in print and digital formats and available everywhere. Learn more by going to the Agile Brand Guide website at www.agilebrandguide.com. Welcome to Season 5 of The Agile Brand with Greg Kihlstrom, where we talk with enterprise and technology platform leaders about the people, processes, and platforms that make marketing and customer experience successful, scalable, and sustainable. This is what creates an agile brand. I'm your host, Greg Kihlstrom, advisor and consultant for Fortune 1000 marketing and CX leaders and teams as principal and chief strategist at GK5A, and best-selling author, keynote speaker, entrepreneur, and agile certified coach. The Agile Brand podcast is brought to you by TEKsystems, an industry leader in full-stack technology services, talent services, and real-world application. For more information, go to teksystems.com. To sign up for the Agile Brand newsletter and get the latest insights and articles on marketing technology and CX, or to purchase a copy of my latest book, House of the Customer, go to gregkihlstrom.com. You can also find all my books on Amazon and other retailers. And now on to the show. Next week, Content Marketing World will be coming to Washington, D.C. on September 26th through 28th. And I'm excited to be attending, and also that it's in my backyard. Very, very exciting and convenient. So there's an amazing lineup and lots of great topics for those in the content marketing industry. Additionally, the Content Marketing Institute's Content Marketing Career and Salary 2024 Outlook is now available, and it offers some interesting insights for those of us in the business of content marketing. Today, we're going to talk about some of the key findings in this report, and to help me discuss this topic, I'd like to welcome Lisa Murton Beets, Research Director at Content Marketing Institute. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Greg. Great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to talking about this with you. So why don't we get started with you giving a little background on yourself as well as what you're currently doing in your role at Content Marketing Institute?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Greg. Yes, I'm the research director at CMI. I've been with CMI for 12 years now, since the beginning. Nice. I'm responsible for executing all of our annual surveys, including the annual content marketing survey that we do every summer with marketing profs. And this, our career and salary survey, which is in its second year. We also do annual demand gen research, video research, and various custom research projects for clients.
Great. So we're going to talk about 3 main areas within that report I mentioned, the Content Marketing Institute's Content Marketing Career and Salary 2024 Outlook. And let's start with the topic I feel like everyone has to be talking about in any conversation about marketing, hiring, and really anything, and that's artificial intelligence or AI. So let's start there. So we'll start with a negative, with a large number of content marketers believing technology like generative AI, which includes but goes well beyond things like ChatGPT, Bard, others. They believe these platforms are going to have a profoundly negative impact on their careers. Can you talk a little bit about this and maybe some of the more negative responses we'll get to the positive quick enough, but some of the more negative responses you got around the topic of AI?
Yeah. So Greg, content marketers told us that they worry that AI will devalue their skills. A few stats here. 62% said they fear less respect for skilled writers and editors. 55% said they fear writing and editing will be viewed as a commodity. Nearly half fear lower compensation for writers and editors and fewer jobs for content marketers. And only 17% were not concerned about AI-related impacts. So there's just, some general fears out there. We asked a fill-in question on the survey, and it read, "Tell us more about how you think AI will impact your job and career." And we heard people use words like scared, worried, fearful. A few quotes here. "I'm worried about AI's impact on my creativity. I'm scared that less honest writers will benefit by stealing other people's work." There's some newly released research, Greg, from the Marketing AI Institute that bears out this fear. 1 in 3 respondents to their most recent survey said fear or mistrust of AI was a barrier to adoption. So yeah, there's a lot of fear out there.
Yeah. So on a more positive note, then, kind of looking at the flip side here, some of the survey respondents indicated they think of AI as a force multiplier, and it's kind of where I tend to land on that topic as well, and that it may actually focus their work and enable content marketers and creators to focus on more high value, maybe more strategic work. So while these people, obviously, according to the statistics you just shared, they're not in the majority. Is this, from your read on this and maybe the trends you're seeing, is it a matter of time here before the tide kind of shifts and there are some more that feel more positively about this? Or, what's standing in this way of the sentiment growing, perhaps?
Yeah, so sure. We heard from a lot of marketers who are excited and hopeful about what AI brings to the table. We heard from people who are using AI to generate new ideas. We heard from people with tight budgets using it to do more within limited time frames, things like that. And on this positive note, we heard words like easier, improve, more efficient, save time, helpful. I do think it's just a matter of time before more marketers start to feel positive about AI. I think that once they start using the tools and getting more comfortable with them, they'll feel less threatened. And I think it's probably fear that stands in the way in many instances. It's just like how many of us often feel fearful when we're introduced to any new technology.
Yeah.
I think another thing that can help is for organizations to have guidelines around the use of AI. Guidelines can take away some of that anxiety that marketers are feeling, regarding what can I do, what can't I do, what should I do, what shouldn't I do,
Right.
Be doing with all these new technologies.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And I think it's, any of us that have been doing this for a little while in the marketing world, there's lots of trends that come and go, and there does seem to be, this is it's called various, there's the hype cycle, there's the, just how we deal with change in general and things. So, it does feel like that. And again, it's never that it's not justified in some degrees. Content marketing is going to change, and some of that, I believe, for the better, but some of it may change for the worse, or maybe some roles may shift or whatever. But along those lines, let's talk about how marketers are actually using AI today. And with nearly half of the marketers in the report saying, as you mentioned as well, they use AI to brainstorm and research, though maybe not everybody's feeling great about that, but they're still using it, right? And so, is this going to grow beyond 50% soon? Kind of to your other point about it kind of being a matter of time. So is this 50% going to grow to 99% and simply become ubiquitous, or what would it take for that to happen?
Yeah, it will be interesting to watch how it unfolds over the next few years.
Yeah.
The research showed that marketers are using AI to brainstorm and research more so than to create original content at this point in time. And it's good news, really, because it says that content creators are looking at the long game of using AI to amplify and scale their talents rather than as a crutch, or as an easy button to their writing.
Yeah.
But yes, they're a little freaked out. I mean, it's probably because most of them are concerned that their bosses are looking at AI through a lens of how many writers do we really need? And it would be a mistake to replace content creators with AI. The hope and belief is that it won't happen at scale. Our position is that Only short-sighted leaders are going to cut marketing creative staff thinking it will be sufficiently supplemented with AI, because at this point in time, humans are in the driver's seat, not AI.
Thanks for listening to the Agile Brand with Greg Kihlstrom podcast. I'd like to introduce you to a brand new podcast that I think you'll love. It's called The Innovation Economy. And on it, myself and my co-hosts, Adam Chen and Bonnie Habian, look at the factors that drive business growth, including how people, processes, platforms, and places work together to create the future of work. This includes talking with changemakers at large organizations that we call entrepreneurs, as well as how engaged employees can leverage their personal brand and superpowers to support their company, secure their own future, and create unprecedented value for the business, as well as with those working to create the innovative places where tomorrow's leaders will live and work. You can listen to the latest episodes on this platform or wherever you access your favorite podcasts by searching for The Innovation Economy. And you can go to www.innovationeconomy.show, that's innovationeconomy.show, to access the latest episodes, show notes, and more. Now let's get back to the show. So for those content creators, content marketers out there listening, what would your advice be to them now, knowing that things are shifting and AI usage is certainly going to increase, but how do you think about future proofing your career, amidst not only the fact that there's going to change, but also that we kind of know where, at least generally, where things are headed. So, how do they make sure that they're going to continue to bring value despite some of these tools becoming more and more available and used?
Well, in a word, I would say, deepen your knowledge and capabilities. That's really no change, because content creators should always be adding to their skill sets, something more than just writing or imagery or audio or video. Ideally they become subject matter experts, either horizontally or vertically within their organizations. Great content creators are great because they have unique, creative, and insightful ideas that they can express. So, the question will be, how do these creators add to their depth of knowledge, either, by industry, by topic, by function in the business, and become differentiated?
Yeah. So do you see this then as, as content marketers are broadening their skills and maybe need to understand some of the analytics and even the data science part of it? Not everybody's going to become a data scientist, but maybe there's the citizen data scientists out there and stuff like that. Are we eventually going to see the end of maybe the purely content marketing role and some more hybrid role? Or, do you think this is just simply going to evolve and this is just a step on the curve, and there will be content marketers, though their jobs will just be slightly different? Where do you think that's going to land within, let's say, 5 years or so?
Yeah. We've already started seeing the end of the pure content marketing world before the disruption of AI. Yeah. I would say for the last 5 to 10 years, we've seen content marketing become just a core function of marketing. Most content marketers in business are already being tasked with other parts of the marketing activity cycle. For example, they're writing ad copy, they're working on SEO, UX design, measurement, strategy. So all kinds of marketing functions there. And our chief strategy officer, Robert Rose, writes in his new book that's coming out at Content Marketing World that it's probably the other way around, where we will eventually see the entire practice of marketing evolve into more of a content marketing operation. And Robert gets into this more in the book. It's called Content Marketing Strategy, and it's being released September 26th at Content Marketing World. So we're really excited about that.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's great. And yeah, definitely, like I said, I've been in this world long enough to see quite a few changes and things. So, to me, it seems like it's part of a continuum, and obviously content is always going to be important. It's just the roles that do it, I guess, and the tools that they're using. So let's I want to. There's a few other things in the report. There's a lot of other things in the report actually that are super interesting. We're not going to be able to obviously get to all of them today, but I did want to get to maybe a few other highlights from you while we have you here, and obviously for those that are going to be able to attend the conference next week, I'm sure they'll hear a lot more and they'll be able to get access to the book and everything as well. But in looking at the report, besides some of the things that we touched on already, what was maybe one of the most compelling insights from the report that we haven't discussed yet?
One of the things we were surprised about was the stat that showed only 22% of marketers wanted to work on their writing and editing skills. Only 23% wanted to work on their AV skills. So it tells us that content marketers are less focused on developing their creative skills right now, and that's kind of troubling, in a profession where we rely on talented and creative writers and editors to engage and build trust. And we've seen a shift. So last year, 40% of marketers told us they wanted to work on their writing skills versus that 22% this year. But what we've seen them do is shift their focus over to working on their technology skills. 48% said that they wanted to focus there. 42% want to improve data analytics and data science skills. And 42% want to work on their leadership skills. So, all great areas to focus on, but we can't forget creativity. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next year.
Yeah, I mean, that seems contrary to, when you think about AI and, I think of it as augmentation of human capabilities. And, what AI does well is not creativity, and what humans do well is creative and strategic. Why do you think that might be that the people responding to this report, because we don't have AI responding to surveys yet, but why do you think they're moving in this direction?
I think it's just that pressure to keep up with everything coming out with AI. I mean, the highest ranked skill that they selected was keeping up with new technology. So I think it's just a matter of being under pressure to learn new AI tools. And again, the data analytics and data science, we're going to see more content marketers shifting into marketing roles where analytics are involved. And that leadership skills surprised me, but it also makes sense because when we go back and think about how we talked about foolproofing your career, I think more marketers really do want to develop those leadership and management skills.
Yeah. So there's also some mentions and stats related to the potential career path for content marketers within their organization, with younger content marketers being more likely to see a clear career path. I don't think that's always been the case in some of these types of surveys I've seen, and more experienced ones having less of a clear career path, at least from their perspective. What does that mean for the more senior marketers out there listening to this?
Marketing careers have always been a little bit fuzzy. It gets to what we were just talking about. So senior marketers out there are starting to see that marketing as an operation is shifting. It's evolving, and that includes the disruption of AI and other automation. And perhaps it's just that they can't see as clearly where they will be evolving. But I think that will come into clearer focus over the years ahead. And I think younger marketers are more optimistic about their ability to control, orchestrate their careers. It's always the case with younger generations. So they probably feel more in control of the evolution of their skills.
Yeah. So do you see that this isn't more in keeping with just how things generally trend then? It's not necessarily anything to do with more recent things related to AI or similar things?
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Yeah. No, interesting. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining the show. I'm really looking forward to the conference next week. Looking forward to being able to attend, and I'm actually looking forward to being able to drive there across the river and get there very easily. No flights this time. So one last question before we wrap up here. According to the report, content marketers are engaged in their work. There are clearly a lot of potential changes on the horizon. What would your recommendation be for that content marketer out there listening to the show? What should they start exploring sooner than later?
We'll definitely start exploring the AI tools out there. Start experimenting, even if it's on your own personal time. Get a handle on what's possible for your own unique situation. And that means kind of identifying where you can use AI tools to be more efficient. It'll be different for everyone. I'd also recommend following thought leaders in the space, like CMI's own Robert Rose. Our CMI blog is a great place to start. I also recommend following Paul Retzer of the Marketing AI Institute and Andy Crestadina of Orbit Media Studios. Andy has a fantastic blog. He posts regularly on LinkedIn on how to use AI for various use cases. And you can find more content about this subject right at our own CMI blog as well. And I'd also keep an eye out for webinars on AI. I see a lot of those coming out lately. We at CMI offer webinars every Wednesday, and we're really delving more into AI topics. So if you're a subscriber, you'll be notified. And if not, you can learn about these webinars at our CMI website. So watch out for those. And thanks so much for having me as a guest today, Greg. I'm really looking forward to meeting you at Content Marketing World.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining. Again, I'd like to thank Lisa Murton Beets, Research Director at Content Marketing Institute, for joining the show. You can learn more about Lisa and the Content Marketing Institute and get a copy of the Content Marketing Career and Salary 2024 Outlook Report by following the links in the show notes. Also, make sure to attend Content Marketing World. It's September 26th through 28th in Washington, D.C. Thanks again for listening to the Agile Brand with Greg Kihlstrom podcast, brought to you by Tech Systems. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to subscribe on your podcast channel of choice and leave us a rating so that others can find the show more easily. You can access more episodes of the show at www.gregkihlstrom.com. That's GregKihlstrom.com. To get a copy of my latest book, House of the Customer, visit my website, or you can find it on Amazon or other retailers. The Agile Brand is produced by Missing Link, a Latina-owned, strategy-driven, creatively fueled production co-op. From ideation to creation, they craft human connections through intelligent, engaging, and informative content. Until next time, stay agile.